I'm Bradley Delahaye. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I'm Nathan Anthony Crescenzi. I come from Bergville, West Virginia.
I'm Stephen Calcarite. I'm from Cary, North Carolina.
I am Brian Wong. I am from Washington, D.C.
I needed to do something with myself because I was just lingering around home. I first was majoring in German, but I decided to switch to French because my grades were better in French.
My goals coming to here, I would think, are more in line with what would be the goals of a normal college student. Pass my classes, graduate with a degree, consider a master's degree, and get a job in the workforce so that I could actually support myself. Largely those goals have been going fine, I believe.
I know one of the goals was at least to get a degree. I almost got mine. I've taken a lot of summer courses. Like, I've only had like 2 or 3 months off out of the entire time I've been here. So I've been mostly focusing on work a lot. I won't be surprised if one of the goals was that I originally said I wanted to make more friends, because I didn't really have friends growing up, and it kind of sucked because I'm a really friendly person. I feel that the program offers a lot of ways for a lot of the students to socialize. A lot of us started a Nerf club, which was really popular freshman year, who had like 20-something members.
One of the goals was to graduate. I already knew then that I wanted to go get my PhD in psychology. It was mostly academic goals, but then, then there were also secondary goals like extracurricular activities.
Being able to have extended time for tests, because sometimes some tests take me longer than the entire class period would have. And I've always taken tests here pretty much, except for Math 085. I've taken some of the tests in class, but after that I've taken the test here in Old Main.
What the ATC here specifically helped with is some of my lingering issues with kind of organization and scheduling, especially as it concerns my management of time. I tend to get overloaded with a few things, tend to overthink others, and in that space of events I tend to lose track of things and lose track of my own sense of time. So these guys have been really good about keeping me in order and keeping me on a good short leash when it concerns assignments, classes, and generally making sure everything's organized and in its place.
First of all, it helps being able to know a lot of other people with autism. It basically gives you a better sense of how autism works, different cases, how broad it is. It helps, like, I know I'm not the only one. I've done this in my own, I did a research project for my capstone on the autism program, and I found that, like, one of the other people who responded also mentioned, well, actually a couple of them mentioned how it gave them a sense of their own limitations, what they can and can't do. The graduate assistants, keeping contact with the professors, as well as being a way to be sort of a bridge between the professor and the student, I found is a lot more easier. I almost have a degree, potential job lined up, thanks to the program again, because I'm being hooked up through the program. I got an internship through the program at Legal Aid, and I have friends that care for me.
I think it's been, beneficial. It really helped me. It's like reminders that I have assignments to do, and autism or not, we all at least need some form of reminder that, hey, we got a deadline to do. Even though with my experiences having gone to boarding school and already being away from family, that sort of helped me adapt to the college environment in that respects. But my freshman year I was on task, but then we all have our different peaks of when our talents are more visible, and every now and then reminders of that I have assignments due also is very helpful as well.
Yeah, the campus is a good size for me. I don't have to worry about transportation to take me to another part of campus or anything.
Marshall University's campus is nice and close together. All the academic buildings are together. Usually from your dorm room to your classroom is one straight shot there without any major distractions except for maybe running into the air in person. In addition, not only is that kind of close campus good for distance and timing, I'm usually able to make it across campus and back in a space of 10 minutes. So Marshall University's organization, its ability to keep the campus in a nice confined space and clearly separate the academic life of students from the leisurely lifestyle of students has certainly been a great help, I believe, in helping me to achieve my goals of just becoming a productive member of society.
Because I'm a sociology major, a lot of sociology professors are really understanding. I feel Marshall has a really strong sociology department. A lot of the professors are really awesome and really easy to get along with. They don't care if you call them by their first names, so it's very informal. My advisor is like one of my references on my resume, like that kind of stuff. We have a lot of awesome conversations. It's really fun. I haven't really encountered that many issues, and I guess the program's been there to help cover those.
I think, well, given that I come from DC and there are a lot of schools up there in that area where people come from very different backgrounds that really are really motivating in the field of academia or on college campuses. So that helped me establish the Red Cross Club here as well. And I think part of that was my boarding school upbringing, because in boarding school they always encourage students to be involved on campus, be a leader in whatever they do at school.
For 3 semesters I lived in Holderby, and I didn't like it that much because the bathroom was too shared, and Commons was harder to get into, but I managed to get there after those 3 semesters in Holderby. I liked Commons a lot more because it had air conditioning. The bathrooms were a lot less shared. I only shared with up to 3 guys, which was much more comfortable for me. And that you have a lock on the shower and a lock on the toilet, so that I got a lot more privacy, and it was a lot more pleasant for me, and I'm sure plenty of other students feel the same way.
The parameters of what I would consider success were kind of differently measured for each. I don't exactly hold myself to the standard of going to a party every single weekend and having a group of 20 close friends and about 100 other acquaintances I get in contact with. I'm able to I kind of reel myself into a core group of friends and people I talk to whenever I'm at home working on something over Skype or something. So I'm able to measure myself that differently from my measurement of academic success, as in, am I going to be able to get to the next semester with the promised scholarship? One semester I wasn't, so that was a bit disappointing. And if I'm going to be able to make it through a double major in 4 years, thankfully it kind of looks like I am going to score that double history political science major, so that's going to be pretty nice. So yes, I would say I've been successful in the multiple realms of social and academic pursuits here at Marshall University. Here, the ATC largely helped me, as I said, academically with my organization and time management. They helped me keep track of assignments, keep track of when things were going to become due. It kind of kept things from ending up piling up and overwhelming me.
I don't know, because I've always been sort of an independent person. I've always been somewhere comfortable going up to a professor and telling them my issues. The friend thing, I guess, would be the most difficult. But I was already starting to slowly come out of my shell when I got here, but I was still somewhat closed off. Well, I didn't really have any issue living on my own exactly, because while living at home I tend to stay in my room a lot. So there wasn't really much of an issue with that. I guess developing friendships with peers.
I didn't really necessarily was active in talking with my professors. So I think that's one area that I have excelled in my senior year. Dorm life, I don't necessarily see any changes, because when I was in boarding school, I already was living in the dorms. And given my campus involvement already, when I come back to the dorm at the end of the day, I'm done with activities. I just want to have time to myself. So dorm life hasn't really changed, but in interacting with these different groups sort of helped with my social development and helped me to find other people who are interested in my different areas of interest outside of the classroom.
Get familiar with the material in class, and if you're familiar with the material you learn in class, that'll certainly help make sure that you make at least decent grades, or better yet, good grades, in order to succeed and get it.
I think that it was best that he just took that period to adjust, consider all things considered. So I just tell him to keep doing what he's doing before getting back in the TARDIS.
Do your work, I guess. Try to see if you can start working on the capstone project sooner.
College is expensive, and you're there for a significant purpose, whatever the purpose may be, and you want to make whatever resources that has gotten you to the college worth it. You need to ask yourself, what got me into this field? And the second part is B, what in this field of study am I pursuing, can I contribute something new, something that hasn't really received much attention for it? And if you can, if you can pursue that second part and still answer the first part, you're most likely to be successful.